Have you ever wondered how long it would take you to earn 100,000 gold in vanilla Stardew Valley from fishing alone? No? Just me then? Alright, see you guys later. Fishing. One of the most popular pastimes. So relaxing, so cozy, so rewarding. But that's in real life. In Stardew Valley, fishing is less this and more this. So why on earth would I then seek to resign myself to fishing alone to earn 100,000 gold in the game? Could it just be for the sake of content? Or did I truly believe that fishing was a great way of making money and I just wanted to prove it? Let me give you a little backstory to this challenge. A year ago I embarked upon the Jojo route. Please hate on me in the comments for this. You need a total of 140,000 gold to complete the Jojo route, and on that journey I learned a lot about making money, and one of the biggest mistakes I made was ignoring fishing as a source of income. So it got me thinking, how much would I need to fish in order to earn that sort of cash? And that's when I decided to set myself this challenge. But instead of going for the full 140,000, I decided to settle on the more modest sum of a mere 100,000 gold. The other thing you should know about me is that I love fishing. I used to actually hate it until I understood how it worked. If you're also in the same boat, I suggest checking out my video on fishing tips. Hopefully it will help. For this run, I didn't watch any guides or how best to make money on fishing. I used the Stardew wiki and my own experience to figure things out. And as you'll see, I learned a few things along the way. Finally, before we begin, you might have noticed some fish puns dotted around. Comment with your favourite fish puns below. The best comment gets, well, nothing, but at least you can show off how funny you are. Alright, let's get on with it.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Day 1 in the game you can't do any fishing, but you do start the game with 500 gold, so we're already on our way to our target without a single click. Good night everyone, see you in the morning. It's day 2 and the hard work begins. We've got to get over to Willy to unlock fishing in the game. Once we do that, we can stop into his shop to buy the training rod. If you don't already know, the training rod is really useful for those early fishing days. When you level up fishing in Stardew, the size of your bar gets bigger. This makes it easier to catch fish. The idea being that the more experienced you are at fishing, the easier it would be for you to catch fish. This concept is translated into the game through the size of the bar. The bamboo pole you start with gives you a very small fishing bar, and if you struggle with fishing, this is going to make things much harder. Buying the training rod for just 25 gold increases the size of your fishing bar to the same length as though you were level 5. Suddenly fishing becomes a lot easier, but not without its own disadvantages. Although it's easier to catch fish, you cannot catch higher level fish, meaning the fish you do catch won't be the most valuable. It's still well worth using at the beginning until you increase a few levels, as there's less chance of you losing fish with a bigger bar. With my new rod equipped, I began to rid the sea of life one fish at a time. When it came to selling the fish, I decided that any items obtained through fishing could be counted towards the total, not just the fish alone. So whatever I got from treasure chests over the course of the challenge could be sold. I could not sell anything obtained through any other means. On that first day of fishing, I spent only 25 gold for the fishing rod, leaving me with a grand total of 1,495 gold in my pocket. Not bad for a day's work. I did get extremely tired though and nearly collapsed from exhaustion. I eventually managed to crawl my way back into bed at a child's bedtime of 8 PM. On the plus side, I gained 2 levels of fishing that day. When day 3 came around, I decided to head up to the mountain lake for some more valuable fish. In spring with the training rod, there wasn't much I could get from the ocean that was very valuable. So I packed up a pickaxe for clearing the way and headed up to the mountains for a fun day of fishing. By day 3 I had opened a few treasure chests adding to my haul. I earned a total of 1,455 gold that day, bringing my overall net profit to 2,950. I also leveled up again to fishing level 3. On day 4 I started to get really serious. It was time to cast aside the training rod and purchase the fiberglass rod, which would allow me to attach bait and catch higher level fish. I checked the Stardew wiki for the most valuable fish of the season, and in Stardew 1.6, unless it's raining, the best fish is the goby, a new addition for this update. It can be found at the waterfall below Marnie's farm. I went over to Willy first thing and dropped 1800 gold for the fiberglass rod, and then headed down to catch me some goby. Once my inventory was full, I sold off what I could and went back up to the mountain lake to see if I could catch some largemouth bass, as that tended to be pretty valuable as well. I got so carried away fishing that I lost track of time and had to double time it back, landing in bed just before the clock struck 2 AM. By the end of the day I got to level 4 in fishing, but had only managed to earn a meagre 324 gold. Sometimes luck is just not on your side. I picked up plenty of trash though. Day 5 came around and Marnie dropped off my pet, Dogfish. He's such a good boy. He would be the morale boost I needed to have a good fishing day. Deciding on the mountain lake, I spent the entire day there fishing as much as possible. I realised I was running out of space, and in order to efficiently earn more money from fishing, I would need to spend some money on expanding my inventory. A job for tomorrow. Otherwise, not much else happened. It was just a solid day of fishing. I got to level 5 and chose the Fisher perk, meaning my fish would be worth 25% more. Unfortunately, this doesn't apply to the fish caught on the day you level up, so I'd have to wait until the end of tomorrow to see that benefit. Despite that, I still made a very respectable 3,838 gold, bringing my total to 5,442. Dogfish did indeed prove to be the best luck charm. As planned on day 6, I went over to Pierre and handed him an extortionate 2,000 gold for a bag. It wasn't even Prada, but at least it would hold my fish. There wasn't much else to report other than I spent the day fishing. A lot. Once again I leveled up to fishing level 6, and I earned nearly as much as the day before, 3,278 gold. My total was now 6,720. Another day, another level of fishing. Day 7 proved to be similar to 6. I stayed around the mountain lake and fished as much as I could, getting a fair number of treasure chests in the process. I got to level 7 and earned 5,005 gold, my highest amount yet. I had now broken the 10k barrier with a total of 11,725 gold, only another 88,275 to go. Easy. On day 8, Willy finally offered me his iridium rod. I'm sure there's a better way to say that doesn't sound sussy, but I like it this way. Now I'd be able to add bobbers and spinners and all sorts. So I headed over and dropped 7,500 gold on the rod and some more on accessories. Then it was back up to the mountain lake for more fishing. It was my first day since starting fishing that I didn't level up. Obviously, it starts to take longer the closer you get to level 10. But I did make 4,714 gold. It didn't make up for how much the day had cost me, and we were back below 10k for our total. But now all the major investments had been made. We shouldn't need to spend much more money on anything other than some food to boost our fishing level when it comes to the really hard fish, and some accessories for our rod. I wish I could say some very exciting things happened on day 9, but it was fishing as usual. I did decide however that I wouldn't use crab pots. Although crab pots can be an effective way to level up fishing even faster and catch some cool sea life, ultimately the value of those sea creatures pales in comparison to fish. Additionally, the XP is quite small relative to what I was getting fishing. Basically, I couldn't be bothered managing crab pots as well as fishing, so I decided to ignore them altogether. Day 9 got me to level 8 fishing, and I brought my total earning up to 12,784 gold. On day 10, I realised I'd been neglecting the goby down by the waterfall. This valuable fish could be getting me more money, so I remembered to head down there to fish a few. Spoilers, don't do this. It's not worth it. Also spoilers, I didn't learn that mistake for a few more days yet. The goby doesn't show up enough to make it worth it, and the other fish you catch in the area are not that valuable. As long as it's not raining, it's better to go up to the mountain lake and catch largemouth bass. If it is raining in spring, go to the river and get yourself some catfish. At least I made some money, a mere 2,481 gold. Day 11 it rained. Remember what I said about going to the river to catch a catfish when it rains? Yeah, I totally forgot about that, and I was happily fishing away in the mountain lake until about 4 PM when I realised my mistake. I quickly ran down to catch one, and I did manage to, but I also then managed to mess up catching the next one, making it the very first fish I had missed in the game so far. With only one catfish in hand, I returned home somewhat defeated that I had lost a fish and that I forgot to fish for them earlier. Still, I had managed to make 4,009 gold, a significant improvement on the day before. On day 12 it was still raining and I was nobody's fool twice in a row. I rushed to the river and began my search for catfish. I took a slight detour to fish up a largemouth bass for a quest for some extra money, which is totally allowed in the rules, by the way, the rules that I made up for myself, as it's a fishing related quest. After that I went straight back for more catfish. By the end of the day I hit level 9 and earned a handsome 6,097 gold. That put my total at 25,371. I was a quarter of the way to my goal already. On days 13 and 14 I thought I'd try my luck with Goby again. This was when I finally realised it was a bad idea. On day 13 I made 3,231 gold, and on day 14 I made only 2,814. I was sticking to the mountain lake from now on. Day 15 and 16 were spent fishing up in the mountain lake. Instantly I had a lot more luck with fish. There was less trash, more treasure chests and a higher number of valuable fish. On day 15 I earned 6,614 gold, and on day 16 I earned not only 5,938, but I also made it to level 10 fishing. With the angler perk this meant that from tomorrow my fish would be worth 50% more. It also meant I'd now be able to catch the legend fish the next time it rained. By the end of day 16 my total earnings were at 43,968 gold, almost halfway to 100,000. And now, with my fish being worth more, it wasn't going to take me much longer to achieve my goal. I won't bore you with the day-to-day breakdown of the next few days. Suffice to say I just fish from morning till night. When you fish in multiplayer time doesn't stop and the days go by so quickly, but in solo mode time stops each time you reel in a fish, so the days can actually last a very long time. I'm not gonna lie, there were moments where I nearly fell asleep whilst fishing. I had to stay on voice calls to try and keep awake. Thankfully I have some really awesome people motivating me to keep me going, and some of those are my channel members. Usually I'd showcase a farm animal for my channel members, but today I'm going to shout them out as fish. So a huge thanks for all your support to Michelle Rowe-Me, Minnow Tendo Gaming, Brutal Catfish, and Rix. Sorry Rix, I couldn't think of a fish pun for your name. If you'd like to be a channel member and support future content, get yourself an animal on my farm and shout out in future videos, just hit the join button below. Alright, let's get back to some fishing. By day 20 I was over the 50k mark. Day 22 saw me earn an impressive 8,564 gold, but even that was put to shame on day 23, because you see, on day 23 it rained, and I was at level 10 fishing. This meant it was time to hunt my legend fish. I was prepared for it, but I still missed it the first time. That was so frustrating, but it was being particularly difficult. The second time though I got her. The trap bobber and the trout soup helped catch this slippery bugger. But this is where I learned something new. Despite having played this game for many hundred hours and completing it numerous times, I never knew you could only catch one legendary fish per save. To be honest, I never tried to catch more than one, so I had no clue. I wasted the rest of my day trying to catch another legend fish, ignoring most of the other fish. This meant that I made a lot less money that day than I could have. Despite that, day 23 saw me earn a whopping 15,450 gold, but I'm annoyed to think that I could have made so much more if I just caught all the other fish that day. But I guess we all learn something new now and then, and I can share that failure with all of you. I ended the day with a total earning of 94,411, so close to 100k. Needless to say, on day 24 I completed my challenge. I earned a pretty decent 10,836 gold, bringing my total to 105,247. Had I not made a few mistakes like chasing the goby fish and not fishing after catching the legend, I could have completed this by day 23 at least. If I was luckier with rain it could have been sooner. Having made over 100k in 24 days, I think with some light farming on the side, I could easily make the 140k needed to complete the Jojo Mart fully before spring year 1. Now that might be a challenge to try in the future. Comment below if you'd like to see me attempt that one, or maybe you have something else in mind. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this video and check out my other Stardew content. Take care and see you next time.